Hello everyone, my name is Bridget and today we're going to be talking about a super special Starseed Wanderer Lightworker upgrade. This is only for the advanced players here. This is for those that are ready to take it to the next level. This is something that you don't think I'm going to say, but it's a really essential part of this conversation and I know you guys are ready for it. So I'm going to give it to you. All right. Before we get started, be sure to go get my free meditation down below so that we stay in communication as these mediums and platforms change. So be sure to do that. And without further ado, let's get into it. So this actual topic was inspired by one of you because I do read the comments. And when you guys make good points, I make videos about them. Okay. So one of the things that was talked about in one of my previous recent Starseed videos is that we were talking about graduating. We were talking about going from third density to fourth density, third dimension to fifth dimension, and that as Wanderers and Starseeds, we're from in one parallel incarnation or maybe multiple, but we are also humans and we've been lower density beings as well, but we have had these experiences as higher density beings and we're bringing back that light. We're bringing in high levels of positivity into the planet and emanating that to help this transition ascension process. Now, one of the things that we can get caught up with is identity and identifying as this, right? As this awakened, enlightened extraterrestrial. I'm not even physical. I have quasi-physical incarnations, or like I have non-physical incarnations as stars. It's like, whew, gotta be careful about the spiritual ego on that one, right? Like it's a lot. There's a lot there. And so we're being asked, and the invitation in this video is to be able to live in paradox and also to be humbly where we are. So the comment was that there's this conversation of the concept of graduating, which actually causes more separation than unification, which was the comment. And he was also saying, or she, I don't know which one it is, or they, that it is that we're living in infinite numbers of densities and dimensions simultaneously. Yes, so this is critical to note. So the idea is that this perspective can create separation because we're like, I come from this evolved place, so then I'm better than you. And it's like, well, we're missing a piece because part of the evolved place is unification and oneness, which remembers the inclusion of all, which remembers the inclusion that you are there too. We right now are in third density, so we are here too, and we've been other ones too, and we all are all of them simultaneously. So the key is to not get too caught up on being, these super evolved beings coming to save the world, and also simultaneously going, yeah, that's true too. So it's paradoxical. We're being asked to hold multiple energies at once. We're being asked to hold separation, and unification at once. And so there's a lot of complexity in that. And I think that it's really important and worth doing a whole video about, because you guys are ready, to dissolve identity to some level, to take in the good, to take in the vast realization that we are infinite creator beings and multidimensional and infinitely powerful and full of transmissional emanation that can move mountains, can balance earthquakes, can do all kinds of incredible things. And we're humans that drive in little cars and go to the store and we all eat, we all poop, and we're all doing all those things too. And so also utilizing this to really realize our humanity. And funny enough, in really realizing our humanity, which is why we came back down, is how we can retrieve this part of ourselves to unify and bring ourselves back up. And so what we're actually doing in this process of coming back down, we're all of it simultaneously. So from one perspective, we're coming back down, is what it actually is it's soul retrieval. So the idea is that you can't, just like a shadow work piece, where you can't actually move to that next step of vibration, of energy, without becoming more whole, without becoming more of ourselves. So then we're like, oh, my little wounded shadow piece from when I was traumatized, when I was 7, when I got pushed by a little boy and he knocked out my tooth, which is what happened to me. I need to include you. I need to bring you back in so I can be more whole, to be more of myself, to go back towards oneness or more inclusive, more positivity. So what we're doing is we're coming back down, and it's like a soul retrieval, reclaiming these parts of us. They're also equally us. These parts are also equally valid in the experiences that they're having. So us in third density is just as valid as a perspective, as an experience, has just as much richness as a fifth density experience. It's all necessary. Each part on the path is necessary. It's like if you skipped a part as like a baby, you're like, we're just gonna skip crawling, and you go immediately to walking. Then what that does is that actually creates less coordination. You can't have as much balance and dexterity, and so it causes problems later on if you just skip to walking. So each step has a purpose. Each step is equally valid on the path of spiraling up through densities, and it's all happening simultaneously, and it's all us. We're all experiencing all of this. So moving from identifying like us as like these enlightened beings and then these other things as like less is just like inaccurate. It's just not true. Are the higher beings, say, more positively oriented and integrated towards oneness? Yes. But is that a more valid experience than the other thing? No. So the invitation here is to not get a big spiritual ego around identities, to actually lessen and almost let go. Ideally, actually let go of the identity itself, to just be it versus identifying with that and having that make you feel special. And I understand like tribal group identity is helpful and it has its place, but once you get to a certain point, it becomes hindering because it's separative, right? And so actually moving to a place where you don't even need to identify as that is really helpful. I actually don't in my personal life. I haven't for the past few years. I don't think of myself as a starseed, and I don't really think about it that much, almost at all. And I continue to position or pose these dialogues in this way because that's what everyone clicks on, because everyone is doing this and identifying themselves as starseeds and lightworkers. And if I do other videos, when I do other videos that are saying other valuable content, but it doesn't have those identities, no one clicks on it. And also YouTube doesn't identify it as, you know, my most popular videos. So that's happening as well. And so I'm seeing that this is real. And so I am still speaking through the lens of Starseed and Lightworker because I'd rather this information get out there and these helpful tools and perspectives be presented to you in a way that's digestible. But I feel like you're ready for that next level of evolution where it doesn't need to catch you through that identity matrix, and you can actually be more expansive and more of that infinite creator being that doesn't even need that, but like where we're nameless, right? In the higher densities, I was having this funny signal conversation with Aaron Abke because we were talking about this subject, and I think he spelled my name wrong in something, and I was like, yeah, in the next life I'm going to come back with like a very simple, like Jones is like a last name so that people can spell it right. And then I said, well, actually, I'll just come back as a higher density and I don't even need a name. And so this is the invitation where we don't even need a name. We don't even need an identity because we're coming from this full place. And simultaneously, the invitation is to remember us being superhuman and that being human is really powerful and is a super valid experience. To be an epic human, to alchemize what human is an incredible gift and an incredible opportunity in this life. Such an incredible opportunity that we decided to come and incarnate right now and do it. That's how valid it is. And so a lot of my personal inquiry over these past years and also, yeah, just in my everyday is like, how do I be a better human? And how can I be a better person? And in that is a very humbling process. And this is the funny part, it brings you like down to the earth, right? Almost down to your knees. But in that process, you then merge with the earth, and then you're levitated off and you go back to spirit. So there's this beautiful alchemy that happens. And this perspective of how do I be a good human? How do I be a good friend, a good daughter, a good sister, a good mother, a good, community member, a good partner, a good, like, these are really interesting questions. It's like, I know that it's more interesting to say, like, which star system am I from? And the question and the inclusion of, what is my purpose here and now on this planet, in this density, is really empowering and is really needed right now. And remembering the purpose and the reason and the mission why you're here and now is going to be what you came here for. It's super helpful. And so that's why I've been talking a lot about the purpose of third density, is so that we can make sure not to skip this step. You actually can't skip a step. You can lean into, say, fourth density and unconditional love and unity. We can lean into these energies, but you will continue to get gravitated back to this energy in this life and just in the everyday until this is acknowledged, until the value is truly found in what this is in third density, and then you can move on to the next step. So we might as well take a look at it. We're here and we are, quote, stuck here until we resolve this. And so the redirecting to the human experience is equally as important as the star experience, and both of them work beautifully in tandem together, simultaneously, in paradox, in beauty. So that is my sharing for the day. I hope that there's something valuable in here. Thanks for listening. It's a little bit vulnerable for me to say these things, but it's necessary. I gotta say it like I see it and like I'm experiencing it and what's coming through. So please share what was an insight or what was helpful or what triggers you down below, and be sure to hit the like button so you get notifications every time I do new videos. And that's one of the reasons I created my podcast, was to be inclusive of the grandeur of the human experience. And there's really multidimensional conversations there as well. So be sure to go check out my podcast, Wild and Awake with Bridget Nielsen, on your favorite podcast forum platform. And I will see you soon with another video. My friend, my human brotherin, sisterin, and my star family.